You can find them by the millions along the shores of Newfoundland and Labrador. They're often called Ozzy eggs and other colorful names. But sea urchins are considered a delicacy by many, especially in Japan, where their roe, that yellowy bit in the middle, can fetch a good $1.
We've been doing well. First few years they were better. The quality was good, but we've seen a decline over the past few years in the quality because we find we're over harvesting certain areas.
Fishing areas for sea urchins are aligned with the lobster fishery, but unlike lobster and many other species, in most of the province, sea urchins sit untouched on the ocean's floor.
We have so many areas that have been unexplored. If fishermen or divers, or however you want to put that, if they were allowed to take their boats, or even people there could go and they could harvest for us, or for anyone, not just for us, but for anyone interested, if they could do that, then we could open our doors and we could have product coming, and I could hire more people, and we could probably do all year. That's what would help.
For more than a decade, Hodder's Shellfish has been lobbying government to get temporary licenses where urchins are generally not harvested.
I stressed to DFO my concern that we were fishing at the time 2 bays, and we were fishing it heavy in the areas that the urchin quality was good, and I couldn't believe it as a fishery as a whole that we would be confined to these 2 little areas and pushing odd urchins out of them zones when all the island has not been explored.
At a recent Sea Urchin Advisory Committee meeting, Jerry and Alicia Hodder stressed the future of the fishery relies on access to different bays. They say they're still waiting on an answer from DFO that makes sense.
I have no idea what reason. I'm sure it's not resource management reasons, because they lack in that.
We reached out to the Department of Fisheries and Oceans multiple times over the past few weeks. They would not do an interview. In a prepared statement, they said,
there is no broad or significant support for changes to current management measures, including with respect to fishing access. DFO would not clarify what support is needed to make a change. But the Hodders say they have the support of their plant workers, divers, urchin fish harvesters, the MP, MHA, and even a former urchin plant owner.
This was, your big crab quotas and whatever, and the crab plants, all these big unionized plants. This would happen. This would not even get off the floor. We fish capelin, and if there's overrun left from, we say, Conception Bay, that their fish didn't show up, in 24 hours I got new conditions. 24 hours. This is 11 years.
And it's not only the plant that's depending on these changes.
Being 23 years old and going to school and putting a lot of time and effort into learning how to dive for these sea urchins, it was pretty devastating.
What's next for the owners of Hodder's Shellfish? Well, apart from shutting down, which they do not want to do, they may have to look at transitioning to another product, and that will take hundreds of thousands, if not millions, in investment. Troy Turner, CBC News, Stoneville.